guys, it's BreathRock here. In this video, I'll talk to you about my build for Loki. Loki is an invisibility warframe. He's usually more in the back line or in the front line, invisible. His abilities are, let's talk about them a little bit. His abilities are a decoy for his first ability. Loki simply places a copy of himself and all the aggro is drawn into the decoy. Once this happens, Loki is pretty much free to go invisible and kill those enemies as he pleases. This is affected by duration, but mostly he'll get shredded by the enemy much before you do something at all. Invisibility. And this ability simply cloaks Loki, makes him invisible, and thus trivializing any mission, like pretty much any mission at all. Defense, you can just strike all enemies, they won't notice you. Survival, you'll just dance around enemies, they won't notice you. Seriously, any mission. Switch teleport. With this ability, you switch locations with an ally or an enemy. Up until really, well, actually in the beta, I think Loki was able to switch places with the defense target, and yeah, it was pretty funny. Radial disarm. This ability pretty much is one of the best abilities in the game. You have some high crowd control in it. If you have the augment mod, you have a really good crowd control in it. You remove ranged weapons from enemies and you force them to use only melee weapons. It's a very, very wonderful ability. Yeah, his passive is, in my opinion, a really fun one. He's able to hang from walls for a really long time. Sorry. And if you have Arcane Arachne, which is something that I put on him, you're able to deal. You have a chance to deal much more damage if you strike from being attached to a wall. It's very good for Loki. Right, so into the build. In my previous Loki build, I told you he needs not a forma, and I still stand by that. But if you want to further increase his true potential, you may put a forma on him. I had to do so for the Constitution, for the duration you get from Constitution. And now I have a much longer duration. It's the max duration I think you can achieve. And his invisibility is much longer now. The only downside to this is that some of his abilities might not be as efficient, like the fourth ability, because the range is totally shit now. But this build is focused all around the invisibility of Loki. So, energy siphon to regenerate your energy. Handspring to, if you're caught up, not invisible. This is like a little safe option for you. You may swap handspring with, I don't know, enemy radar or something, enemy sense. So you'll have a bigger picture of where the enemy is and you won't be caught up. This is mainly for stealth Loki players. I'm not really stealthy, but that's why I put hushed invisibility, which reduces all the noise I make by 100%. There's also Saver Decoy. Saver Decoy absorbs the damage you get if it's fatal. Like if you have 0 energy left and you're about to die, or if your health runs out, The reason I said energy runs out is because the quick thinking. If your health runs out, you'll swap locations with a decoy, and the decoy will take all the damage instead of you. So it's a really good survivability ability or survivability mod. You can also swap it up with, I don't know, maybe rage or something. I don't know. I never really thought about swapping this mod with something else. Maybe hushed invisibility. But this mod also increases the casting speed of decoy by 50%, so why not? It's fun to just, in the end of the game, cast the decoys and watch them fall a lot. Alright, so narrow-minded, continuity and constitution for the duration, streamline for a little bit efficiency. Quick thinking is your health mod right now, because Loki has 700 max cap of energy. He can really use quick thinking, and he has only 225 health, 65 armor. He'll be shredded really easily if you won't have vitality, if you won't have quick thinking. Not vitality. Vitality is still gonna get you shredded. Primed flow to increase the power to 700. And as I said, these two augment mods for his invisibility. This reduces the noise, and Saber Decoy for decoy mod. This is kind of buggy at the moment, so I could see why people won't really enjoy using Saber Decoy much. I don't know what you could swap it with. You could take Irradiating Disarm for like a little bit of crowd control on your enemies. I could totally see this working out instead of Saber Decoy. I'll keep it like this for a little, see what happens. Okay, so let's go into testing the build. Alrighty, so the enemies don't really matter in this build, because all you have to do is simply be invisible and try not to be killed. Activate 4. Even the lowest range is helpful with this augment, since you activate radiation proc on them, they attack each other, you could just kill them off. It makes them vulnerable. If they all are melee units, you can activate it again, replenishing the duration of your of your Irradiating Disarm. They won't even notice you much. Up, they actually did. Sorry, I take back that false statement. But as you can tell, they just fight each other. Loki is kind of a nix in this matter. You could also put your decoy. They'll activate the decoy if your 4 runs out. He disappears. Then just boom, kill them all. They were sort of in the same location. This is going to run out soon. Hopefully my shade is going to cloak me. He didn't. This is why you should go for the longest duration you can with the invisibility. But as you can see, once you activate your 4th ability with Irradiating Disarm, enemies will not be able to touch you much unless you're this close to them, this close. This. Don't be. With Loki, don't be. Another suggestion I could give you for Loki is to use a bow instead of a shotgun. A bow is for a more ranged Loki. I love the Raptor Cernos because it looks really good in his hands. It looks like it is his weapon, but I'd suggest you to go with the Dread since it deals much more damage. And this is actually, I'll show you the second Loki config with the where is it? Where's my dagger? There it is. The second Loki config is the stealth Loki, in which you just go invisible, and Oh, the embedded catalyzer was on my Hiko. Wow, my bad. Okay, so with the stealth Loki, all you have to do is just be invisible, keep your safe range from enemies, or if you want, just go and pick them up each. They're already spreading out. This build is mostly for exterminations when you want to challenge yourself with stealth. Go behind them. It deals much more damage if they don't notice you. Yeah. Okay, so no one really noticed using the bow. Yep, no one really notices if you have stealth weapons and not detected yet. But taking crit weapons, like I said earlier, is really one of my favorite ways to go with Loki. Since, you know, you can just what's my best crit weapon right now? Since you could just build those stacks really fast and enemies won't stand in your way, the damage then will be so significant, so significantly high. Even those bombers won't stand a chance against you. But yeah, this is my build for Loki. This is how I go with him. And as for the Arcane Arachne, I don't really know if I'll be able to trigger it. Nope. 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 It's a really low chance to trigger the Arcane Arachne. But I'm sure people will know what I'm talking about. So this is all I have to show to you in this video. I hope you enjoyed it and have a good day. Bye.